In this video, I want to show you how I made this profit from this year's Cheltenham Festival in literally just a matter of minutes. Now, the strategy that I want to talk to you about in this video, I'm using all throughout the calendar year. But the thing is, at the more conventional bread and butter meetings you get throughout the horse racing calendar year, so places like Southwell and Fosslas and things like that, I have to be more conservative with the stakes that I'm using when I'm running this strategy. So the more money that you use on your trading position, the larger profit that you will have, of course. So if you yield a 10% return on a £1,000 stake, that's obviously going to give you a larger profit than if you yield a 10% return on a £500 stake. So of course, as your confidence continues to grow with your trading, your staking will move up alongside that. However, confidence is not the only factor to take into account when you're staking using a strategy. You also have to think about how quickly you can get rid of the position that you put into the market if your position starts to move against you and you start moving into a loss. So for example, if I've laid £1,000 on a runner in a market which has about £60,000 worth of turnover, and the market itself is super thin with small amounts of money all across the book at each of the different prices, I'm going to have an absolute nightmare if the price and my position starts to move against me, getting rid of a £1,000 stake if there's only super small amounts of money at each of the available lay prices for me to back into. However, what's really cool about the Cheltenham Festival is that there's so much money on both sides of the book, as there's just so much interest in the festival and the races at the festival itself. You could literally use thousands and thousands of pounds on some of these markets and the market would just take your position immediately, and if it went wrong you'd be able to get rid of it pretty stress-free as well. And I did that and put thousands through the market many times throughout the festival itself. And ultimately what I'm trying to say is, if you have markets with a large amount of volume and good money passing through the market with each second that goes by, so liquidity, in my experience these are the best markets for using larger stakes on your strategies and making big profits off the back of it. So with that being said, let's jump into the screen recording and I want to show you how I implemented this trading strategy into the market at this year's Cheltenham and made a huge profit in literally just a few minutes. Okay, so this is the trade that I want to talk to you about in this video. Now with this trade, like I said, it does repeat all throughout the calendar year. It's more easier to read, in my opinion, at these bigger horse racing meetings, and I'll generally use a bit more money at these meetings because my confidence is that bit higher. But with this trade, what I'm looking to do is place a lay bet on the second favourite, which is this runner right here. Now the reason that I'm looking to do that is because of all this money queuing up on the lay side, which is disproportionate to all this money which is queuing up on the back side. There's way more money on the lay side than the back side. And if you look at the traded volume range at odds of 7, can you see that red highlight in the traded volume range, which represents the amount of money matched at that price over the last 60 seconds? That is significantly larger than the amount of money matched at the best back price over the last 60 seconds at 6.8, which tells you people are laying this runner. There's more money on the lay side than the back side. So those are a few pretty good indicators right there that the price is going to move out. To add to that, we're near a crossover point at odds of 6. At a crossover point we have that 2-to-1 ratio there. And we'd also have a look around the market as well to see if anything else is getting back in support, because if something's going to be coming down, our runner is going to be going out as a result of that as well. And we can see on the fourth ladder, home by the lee, which is this ladder right here, we're seeing the back in support right there. If you look in the red highlights in the traded volume range, can you see how those red highlights are moving in a downward trajectory? And that is clearly getting back in support. Very obviously, I can see that right here, watching this back, clear back in support on that runner. So if something's going to be getting backed in, i.e. home by the lee, the fourth favourite, and that's going to mean that something's going to have to move out. They're at similar prices. If one thing's going down, something else is going to have to go out. And I'm thinking with this trade, it's going to be the second favourite, the Wall Park, which is the drifter, and the fourth favourite is going to be the steamer, home by the lee, and they're just going to interact with each other, and I'm going to make a profit just from understanding that and using that knowledge to my advantage. So in just a second I'll start iceberging my orders in. I'll go for about £400 at odds of 7. And in just a second, when all the late money enters the market, that will be decisive and will determine whether the trade's right or whether the trade's wrong. And you can see, slowly but steadily, our runner starts to receive that lay-in support, or those lay bets coming into the market, in turn pushing the price out. And, like predicted, the fourth favourite home by the Lee is getting the backing support. So if one thing's coming down and one thing's going out, we'll make the profit just from understanding that. I've got my offset orders sat in the queue here, various £40 going up the ladder. Just cancelled them and I've re-add them to the market at higher prices. Because I am confident that this price will move out towards odds of 10. This is a common setup I see all the time. Price starts around 6. In the best case scenario, it moves all the way up towards a 10. And in this instance, I think this is a perfect example of that. Still seeing that backing support on the fourth runner. Still seeing the lane on the second runner. And we're sort of creeping up to where my orders are here. My profit and loss on this run is displayed on the left-hand side of the ladder. And you can see we're at or around £80 worth of profit on this one. We're still getting our orders matched. And I would anticipate that this will probably be about the end of this move. We've moved up towards a crossover and you can already see the price snapping back, people jumping in front of each other, trying to get the best price. And that's why my position is almost concluded. I'm just getting these last £30 matched in the market. Because like I said, the extremity of this one would be about odds of 10, started around odds of 6 or 7. I can't really see it going higher than 10, so I'm just getting these last orders out of the market. Last one to go. And you can see that order's matched. £816 free bet on this runner. And if I click here, that hedges the position and gives me a guaranteed profit of just about £87 across every runner, locked in about 2 or 3 minutes, just from understanding how the market works, just from understanding that if the fourth was going to get backed, the second was going to get laid, and that disproportionate amount of money on the lay side versus the backside on our runner. So yeah, after quite a long time in these markets, it has started to become second nature to me, and I'm able to see when these things are going to happen before they do happen and make a profit from understanding that. Now I've packaged something together which actually cuts out all the fluff and gets to the point and provides a strategy which works and which makes money out of the markets into a training program. If you want to take that training program and you want to be provided with the blueprint to this strategy, then check out the link which is down below in the description of this video. I've helped a lot of other like-minded traders achieve the results that they were looking for out of these markets, whilst cutting out the bad habits that they picked up and getting them looking in the right direction. So if you are interested in that training program, the link is down below in the video description. And now if you want to see me perform a live trade in the market on not just one runner, 2 runners, completely raw on a completely uncut video, then check out the video which has just popped up on screen right now, and that'll give you a feel for how I trade in these markets in a completely live environment.